Hi, my name is José OLIVEIRA. I would like to thank, first of all, to UNDRR for this kind invitation. I work at the Portuguese Civil Protection, and during the last 12 years, I've been the Deputy Director for Prevention and Risk Management. I'm also the national focal point for the Sendai framework. In Portugal, the National Platform for Disaster Risk Reduction is very active and aggregates a lot of entities from the public and private sectors, investigation institutes and universities, professional associations, and other relevant ones like the Portuguese Association of Insurers and the municipalities, namely the ones that integrate the Making Cities Resilient 2030. For the last 6 years, all those entities that represent multi-sectorial and cross-governmental areas are cooperating between each other within the coordination of civil protection to develop guidelines and implement projects for risk reduction. At the same time, the government considered that an effort should be done to make prevention a priority. This means more emphasis in prevention policies and the need to change paradigm from response to prevention. To operationalize this as a first step, a national strategy for a preventive civil protection was published in October 2017 for a 3 years period, 18 to 20. After this first, I should call it pilot, a second national strategy for a preventive civil protection was published during 2021, a strategy for the next 10 years. The actual strategy includes different sectors, and it is in line with the Sendai framework as expected, and of course with the European roadmap recently approved. This strategy considers more than 100 operational objectives, and many of those objectives are related to prevention and mitigation activities. For example, the structural intervention in public buildings, mainly schools and hospitals, but also cultural heritage buildings against seismic risk. Another important and transversal strategy objective is to improve public information and communication. It will be decisive due to the need to bring people awareness to risk reduction and the implementation of a risk reduction strategy. Anyway, considering the few minutes, I will direct the intervention specifically to our most destructive risk, forest fires. Forest fires killed more than 100 citizens during 2017 and destroyed a lot of houses and small industries, mainly located in the rural-urban interface. After this tragic year, the government published legislation related to building construction techniques for reconstruction, but also to new buildings in the rural-urban interface. So, depending on the risk map and specific location of buildings, the requirements are going beyond the usual standards in a progressive way. Of course, this raised the total cost of construction, and this is always a problem for some other political sectors, like the Ministry of Economy or Tourism, that look at these extra costs as constraints to investors. And I can say that we couldn't impose effective restrictions to new constructions in some specific areas related to the distance to be considered between houses and forest. And this distance remained the same as in previous legislation. So, in the name of progress and economy, not every condition or restriction proposed by civil protection could be included in this new legislation. And to combat this, we think that more risk awareness is needed for all our society. Other programs were also implemented, focused on nature-based solutions that are at the same time sustainable and contribute to reduce the risk of forest fires. These programs are financed by the state, and even with limited budgets, they can contribute to a better land use planning and reduce risk, and also to end the progressive abandon and desertification of rural areas. To resume, adequate legislation and an appropriate strategy for public information are key factors but financial support or tax compensations must be put in place by governments in order to allow citizens or entities with less financial resources to support resilience investments. So, the road is long and the process is slow, but we are moving in the right direction. Thank you.